The skyline was glowing like someone had dipped gold into glass and stretched it upwards. Dubai always looked like a place built for cameras, a city that wanted to be admired, not inspected. People think it's a shortcut to success, a glittering restart button. But not every story here rises. Some bend quietly toward shadows. This is Dark Dubai Diaries, stories from the shadows of the city. But before we begin, ask yourself this. What would you do if the person who saved you slowly started owning you? Mia was 24 when she left Russia, staring at snow from the airport window before trading it for sand and ambition. She had a marketing degree, spoke fluent English, and had that spark many young graduates carry before real life sharpens its rules. Russia wasn't suffocating her dreams, it was simply making them expensive. Dubai, on the other hand, made opportunity look tax-free, shiny, and close enough to touch. She landed in January, eyes wide with the warm shock of possibility. Everything felt designed. Even the air smelled branded. Sea salt mixed with ambition, roads lined with palm trees like undecorated movie sets. The airport wasn't just luxurious, it felt like a conveyor belt into a better identity. People were shopping before reaching passport control, like wealth came before permission here. Mia got hired quickly by a social media agency that worked with ambitious clients and unrealistic deadlines. The pay wasn't glamorous, but it was enough. She could split rent with roommates, tap a Metro card daily, and eat shawarma dinners after long nights editing content. Her life had a rhythm, fast but manageable. She thought she had caught Dubai's speed. Then came April when the agency restructured, the polite word for cutting people loose without explanation. By lunch, her contract was folded into silence. No exit interview, no second chance. That's the thing about Dubai. It doesn't get ugly. It just stays beautiful and looks through you. Mia paced between cafes, rewriting her resume, rehearsing interview answers in bathroom mirrors that looked too elegant for her current sadness. Her savings were shrinking. Her job alerts were quiet. Her phone felt heavy. And one afternoon, when optimism wasn't loading anymore, Ahmed appeared. He was 53, a longtime resident who looked like the city had appointed him personally. He moved calmly, dressed smart, spoke softly but with a confidence that didn't need volume. He wasn't flamboyant, he was structural. A real estate investor who collected properties, contacts, and influence with the same slow precision some people collect memories. He asked her gently, "Bad day?" She shrugged first, but honesty leaked out. She admitted she lost her job and felt cornered by rent and distance from home. Ahmed nodded a second too long, like quietly acknowledging leverage, not pity. Then he said, "Dubai can be cold when you're invisible, but warm when you find the right people." He offered her a small studio apartment downtown, rent-free until she recovered. The generosity sounded casual, reasonable, and almost fatherly. He cleared his throat before he said it, a small subtle tick, like someone hitting a mental enter key before delivering direction instead of conversation. The building lobby respected Ahmed's posture instantly. This city respects access, not auditions. Security guards don't salute emotions, they salute authority. He walked her up to a studio apartment overlooking glass towers glowing like self-confidence. The space was minimal, elegant, and felt like a temporary throne for someone who had been feeling invisible for weeks. Ahmed checked in daily at first, asking if she needed anything, then suggesting interview outfits, then organizing them personally by tone and impression. He asked for her email password to set up better job updates for her. She gave it without suspicion. Suspicion needs oxygen. And relief had stolen all air from doubt that month. Control begins softly when kindness moves faster than boundaries. He guided her tram routes, then discouraged her from friendships, framing it as protection from people who might take advantage of her vulnerability. He spoke with that same throat clear before every piece of advice, like announcing policy instead of suggestion quietly. He held onto her passport and Emirates ID paperwork, promising it was safer with him than the building's mail system. Dubai corruption wasn't mentioned as accusation. It was mentioned as inevitability. Fear sounds reasonable when explained calmly. He didn't trap her physically. He pre-curated her decisions psychologically. By July, her days weren't planned by her anymore, they were received. His voice stayed calm. Calm makes rules sound spacious, protective, and logical. Control that screams is unstable. Control that whispers can live unnoticed in daily routine. Her outings shrank. Her contacts shrank. Her plans waited for his approval before even forming. He didn't want her money. He wanted pacing rights over her becoming. Some people collect real estate. Ahmed collected timelines and quiet leverage. Mia began noticing the shift in August. She no longer looked at Dubai thinking, can I conquer this city? She looked at Dubai thinking, how much of me now belongs to him instead of me? Independence in Dubai doesn't collapse loudly. It dissolves into gratitude silently until you try reclaiming it. By September, interviews were failing and resumes were disqualified by a story he had unknowingly been feeding into rooms months before. She works exclusively for me. She handles confidential investor communication. Prestige had turned into disqualification of options. She asked for her passport back one night, using the excuse of a possible winter trip home. He repeated his promise, but slower this time, throat clearing louder like a processed human imperfection, reacting to loss of narrative control. It's still safer with me, he said with gentle ownership, not anger. The statement carried a comma's tightened tone. Mia didn't confront him. She packed her suitcase quietly instead. In Dubai, exits aren't chased down dramatically in hallways. They're chased quietly in people's minds instead. She took a tram to stay in a friend's hostel, someone she trusted who had accidentally survived isolation by existing outside his hiring narrative reach. She got hired again in October, stepping into a company less shiny but more humane. Ahmed didn't stop her exit. He only held the pacing rights while he could. Some people don't want custody of your body. They want copyright over your becoming instead. Mia left. Quietly. No police report, no drama. In Dubai, endings are silent when the beginning looked generous and curated like a rescue announcement. Because not every cage has a lock. Some have gratitude instead of steel. Dubai was still shimmering when she left, and still shimmering after. A beautiful, indifferent stage for stories that never get cataloged publicly by skyscrapers. But she noticed something permanent. She no longer saw kindness as an open door instantly. She saw it as a hallway that might tighten behind her back. In Dubai, generosity sometimes looks like help at first, but it might quietly be a transaction asking for your timeline, voice, and calendar before your signature. And that kind of control never comes with handcuffs or legal documents. It comes softly, clearing its throat before every direction like someone who wants to sound composed but still carry leverage. Ahmed didn't rescue her money. He rescued her timeline instead. And once you control someone's pace, you control the story they become. He didn't yell, but he didn't have to. Control is quietest when it sounds like guidance, softest when it sounds like rescue until proven otherwise by October realities. Mia is free now, not unscarred, but not trapped anymore, just permanently edited by contrast. Dubai's shine stays warm, but its shadows teach literacy and leverage without screaming. She didn't file a report, but psychological prison doesn't like paperwork anyway. It likes silence shaped like gratitude instead. In Dubai, access is worshipped, not the people who grant it. Independence doesn't end theatrically here. It dissolves like perfume in air-conditioned optimism rooms, blanketing entire ecosystems. But Mia walked out with a scar invisible to the public eye. Gratitude now makes her question softness before accepting structure again. Because help that becomes possession is the quietest crime there is. And it doesn't need a dramatic arc. It only needs incremental generosity offered faster than boundaries can form. This is the story of the Saviour, a rescue that asked for pacing instead of wallet possession, a city that shined while shadows negotiated authorship instead. And the final line for listeners who now understand the difference between a ladder and a leash. In Dubai, some saviors don't rescue, they recruit.